addition to this latest edition of the Sports Nerd Show. We are a collection of sports nerds whose mission is to bring you as much sports talk as time allows over the next 60 minutes. Although we will strive to be highly informative and equally as entertaining over the next hour, we must warn you that there may be some cuss words along the way. But we don't give a damn because that is the way most humans in the real world tend to talk, and we
just lost it, Elliot. You there? I lost your audio, Elliot.
I muted myself.
Oh, okay. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. The sports nerds are back after a week hiatus, I guess you could call it, with moves and vacations and not feeling well and all that shit going on.
Running out of gas.
Running out of gas in the case of Mr. Costello tonight. But we are back. There's not a lot going on, but you know what? I don't care. We're doing a show. We're gonna get it done.
We don't give a doo-doo.
What's that?
We don't give a doo-doo.
We don't give a doo-doo. That's pretty much it, Elliot. You're right. You are correct. So hang on one second. I need to do that. I need to share it. All right.
Although I would like to cover the all-star legendary performances of Bronny James.
Oh God, really, Elliot? You still on that shit? Are you still on the LeBron? I mean, come on. I mean, the kid.
Hey, he's got 4 straight double singles or whatever they call it.
Oh, you're too funny. You're just too funny, buddy. I don't know how else to put that.
Singles.
Huh?
He's got 4 straight singles.
Oh God, you're such a hater, Elliot. You really are. You're such a hater.
Blame his father for putting him on a pedestal he shouldn't be on.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Well, anyway, let me do this. In the sports world, there's not a whole lot going on. We got the All-Star break heading with Major League Baseball. I'm still getting texts from a coworker. Good Lord.
Hey, how about them Dodgers getting taken out back-to-back walk-offs against Detroit?
Detroit walked off the Dodgers twice. I didn't see that. No.
Back, yo. Yesterday and today.
Well, that's a shocker. Guardians got beat by the Rays, so I got that to look forward to.
And Clay Holmes blew another save for the Yankees.
Yeah, well, you know what? The Yankees are still.
Volpe didn't come out with a ground ball, and
I wouldn't be so proud of the Yankees' record the last month or so. I wouldn't be proud of that at all.
With all that, they're still only a game behind.
Right. What about that here? Anthony in the house. Hey, Anthony, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Anthony. Ain't seen him in a while.
It's been a long time since he's been on the Twitch feed. Oh. And Sheila's in the house. Sheila, your brother's out in Greece, and we're resenting that fact because he's having a much better time than we are. But it's good to see you, Sheila.
Hey, Sheila. What's up, girl?
Good to see you. All is well, Sheila. I've got some serious thunderstorms outside. So if you guys lose me, that's why, because I got electricity in the air and it's going crazy.
I don't know what it is you're now.
And Elliot has arrived in Arizona. He is now broadcasting from his new home in Arizona. Is it Tucson?
Tucson.
It is in Tucson. Wow, I'm so impressed. I got that right. So Elliot's in Tucson. Wayne's in Greece. Mr. Ken Costello is waiting for some gas outside his front door.
Tell him to go eat a burrito.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we've got there's not a lot out there, Elliot. Congrats to your Yankees, but I really don't give a shit because it's the Yankees. You know that.
But for being a hater, that's why your team suck all the time.
Yeah, I know. Couple things I want to mention from the world of NFL. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost a legend earlier this week in defensive coordinator Monty Kiffin. Monty Kiffin is the originator and designer of what is now called the Tampa 2. He was responsible for the 2002-2003 Super Bowl run for the Bucs. That was his defense. He originated it, and he created one of the most dominant defenses the NFL has ever seen since the '85 Bears. And they are in that defense is in the talk of one of the best defenses of all time. So rest in peace to Monty Kiffin. Y'all know who Lane Kiffin is. That Monty is his dad. So, but Monty Kiffin was one of my favorite people.
By the way, thank you, Anthony.
Yeah, thanks, Anthony. And then we find out today, Jacoby Jones, former Ravens Super Bowl 47 star. Was that 47?
Former Ravens legend.
Former Ravens legend. Jacoby Jones passed away at the age of 40. You may remember him as the man that took back a touchdown, a kickoff, 109 yards against Elliot's Niners in the Super Bowl in New Orleans, which is most famously known as the Power Loss Super Bowl. The Power Loss game in New Orleans. I have not seen or heard the cause of death of Jones. Have you seen that, Elliot?
Hasn't been released yet.
I didn't think so. So it has not been released yet.
But there was a statement that he died at home peacefully. So I'm wondering if he had some kind of
maybe he has some cancer or something going on there.
I'm just saying, when they say somebody died at home peacefully, that's usually some kind of illness that. And lately a lot of these people, stars and athletes and stuff, they've been known to keep that stuff under wraps.
Close to the vest and not let people know what's going on. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I'm hoping it wasn't something that could have been prevented.
Right.
But when it comes to certain diseases, there's nothing you can do to prevent it.
Agreed. One other note, I don't know. I mean, you were on the road most of the time, so you probably don't know this. The ESPYs were held Thursday night.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And Steve Gleason was the winner of the Arthur Ashe. Was it the Arthur Ashe Award?
Isn't he the one that had the ALS?
Yes, he's got ALS.
Used to play for the Saints.
Did, and he was. And what was funny, what was great about him was the first game back in the Superdome after Hurricane Katrina. He blocked a kick, a punt. Would you get back in frame, Elliot? You're walking away from your cameras. Thank you.
I'm trying not to eat in front of everybody.
I don't give a shit. Look at this. See this? I got a cheese puff.
Yeah, but I got Chinese food.
I don't care. Yeah, Steve Gleason is the guy that blocked the punt against the Falcons the first game back in the Super Bowl after Hurricane Katrina, and he was a big time hero. But hang on a second, I gotta figure it. Come on. And hang on. Steve Gleason. Oh, why can't I find it? Yes, it was the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage, and Steve Gleason is the one that got that award. He's in a wheelchair. He can't speak on his own. He has to have a computer speak for him.
I'm leaving the beverage. Yeah.
And it was a very emotional and very good speech. And so it was a very emotional speech, and Gleason deserved all of it. So it was a very emotional night at
So
yes,
basically, he's going through life like Stephen Hawking, right?
yes, he is. Yes, he is. And for those of you that don't know LAS, it's also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Lou Gehrig was the most famous person to have that first back in the 30s. So anyway, I don't know what else to talk about, Elliot, at this moment in time. I mean, there's pop culture we can go
Hey,
to.
man, you went through a whole diatribe the other day about Wimbledon. Have at it.
Well, congratulations to the Wimbledon champions. First of all, to Carlitos Alcaraz, who beat Novak Djokovic, and if you can believe it, straight sets to win Wimbledon today at 6-2, 6-2, and 7-6. He's now a back-to-back winner of Wimbledon, and he is one of the few players to ever win the French and the Wimbledon in the same calendar year. So congrats to him. He's only 21 years old, Elliot. It's amazing. And I watched that match, and the kid was everywhere. I mean, he's just all over the place.
Yeah, I watched him a couple years back when he first started out.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of potential in him to be. And it's kind of a passing of the torch moment.
Yeah, it kind of is. You're right. I mean, because Joker's been the way, he's been the dominant figure in tennis for the last decade.
And they all had that moment.
Yes.
All the way back to the Jimmy Connors, the John McEnroes, the Bjorn Borgs.
Yep.
Even recently, Roger Federer.
Yeah, well, Federer is retired. Nadal is on his last legs. Djokovic is 37 years old, so he hasn't got much time left.
And Nadal, he's another one that pretty soon he's gonna slip into obscurity.
Yes, and one of the significant things about today's match was that the Princess of Wales made an appearance at Wimbledon today. It's her second appearance of the year. Why is it significant? Is because she's going through cancer treatment, and she's been going through chemotherapy and treatment for cancer. So to see her today, be there, she brought her. She was accompanied by her daughter Charlotte to the match, and she got a rounding set of applause from the patrons, and it was just great. She looks fantastic. She doesn't even look like she's sick. So it was good to see her out and about. And finally, sticking with the excuse me, Wimbledon theme, the women's champion, it was Barbora Krejcikova. Oh God, I can't these damn names.
Okay.
Krejcikova, something like that. Won the women's championship yesterday.
Getting hooked on phonics wouldn't even help you with the pronunciation.
Correct. What's significant about her is that she was mentored and trained originally by Jana Novotná, who had won Wimbledon in the past. I think in 1998 is when Novotná won it. But what was so special is that Novotná actually has died of cancer in 2017. So it was a special win for Barbora. And she paid tribute to Novotná during her acceptance speech, and she was in tears with all due right, she should have been. She beat Jasmine Paolini, who had been the darling of the tournament because of her emotions and her attitude, and just all in all a great story. So, but yeah, it was a great tournament. I look forward to that every year. Yeah, she was. Kate was beautiful. You're right. Correct. Carlos is the new generation of players. And it was fun to watch Wimbledon. I love that. And now, come September, come September, I get to watch the U.S. Open.
Is that the next tournament, the U.S. Open?
That's the next major. There's plenty of tournaments between now and then, but that's the next major. Hardcore season starts soon, and they'll play warm-ups for the U.S. Open and hardcore tournaments. So, but yeah, it's it promises to be a good time for the U.S. Open.
Did you watch the ESPYs?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
Serena might have had some controversial moments and remarks.
She had some controversial moments at the ESPYs, but it wasn't so much controversial as it was her making comments that the recipients of deserved.
So in other words, it was like Brady roast?
Without the colorful metaphors, yes, of course.
Without the colorful language, yeah.
Yes, correct. But yeah, Serena went off on the kicker from Kansas City.
Oh, wow. That I would love to have seen.
So it was. You can find the YouTube video of that. It was pretty freaking cool. I'm sure actually ESPN may have it on their site too. Let's see what else I can get into trouble here with. Oh.
I got a question.
Okay.
Are you gonna watch SummerSlam since it's in Cleveland Brown Stadium?
No.
No?
No.
That's too bad.
I don't care. I don't care about wrestling anymore. Really. I just don't care.
You
John Cena's retiring. Cena's retiring next year. What do you think about that?
You have said that as many times as you've said that you need to get off your ass and make something of this show.
Yes, I know.
So I don't believe you.
What do you think of Cena retiring next year?
I think it's a good move for him. I mean, look, he can't be around forever. He's got so much going on outside of wrestling.
Yes, he's got plenty of movies in the works. Yes, absolutely.
But
let me ask you this: do you think they give him the opportunity to break Ric Flair's record next year?
Yes. He wouldn't be wrestling.
He and Flair are now tied. Is that not correct?
They are tied. They've been tied for a very long time.
16 time, right?
Right. But they wouldn't, because of the reverence that WWE had for Ric Flair and his contribution. I mean, he's a two-time Hall of Famer. Get that.
Yep.
Because of his accolades and all that, everybody always felt that for anyone, and especially somebody like Cena, which nobody really thought when he first started, that he would ever reach the heights that he has.
Yeah, that especially that first match against Kurt Angle, when Kurt Angle called somebody up from the
exactly. And that's when the Doctor of Thugonomics showed up and beat Kurt Angle.
Yep.
That was kind of like way back in the day. Remember? I don't know if you remember this or not. When Razor Ramon called out the 1, 2, 3 Kid, who eventually became X-Pac.
Right.
And part of D-Generation X. And 1, 2, 3 Kid came out and defeated the legendary Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
This was in the early days of Raw, when Raw took place in the Manhattan Center.
Yeah.
They weren't even in arenas at that time. The Manhattan Center was just a venue where they had operatic shows, balconies, and they couldn't fit more than maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people in there.
Right.
But that's where it all started. And who would have thought that after all those decades, now the WWE is in partnership with one of the biggest streaming services in the world.
Peacock.
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. I apologize. You're right. Netflix. Yes.
I mean,
which means they don't have to censor their shows anymore either.
And Triple H has made that very clear that Blood is coming back. Bad words are coming back.
So the attitude area, the attitude era is
Look,
coming back, is what you're saying.
It's up to the parents to monitor what their kids watch and don't watch. You know? Because I know that I didn't stop my kids from watching in the Attitude Era.
Well,
because I knew they'd watch anyway.
I lived in Daytona during the Attitude Era. My roommate at the time, who was also my boss at Applebee's, we sat there and watched both WCW and WWE every freaking week, and we were just really so into the Attitude Era. We were having a blast watching it. And that's back when that's back when you had to go pay-per-view to watch the big stuff. So yeah, I mean,
not just pay-per-view, closed circuit.
That too, yes, yeah.
Because before there was such a thing as pay-per-view, is closed circuit TV.
Right.
The first 3 WrestleManias, I went to an arena or a convention center to watch them on a big screen.
Yep.
WrestleMania 4 is when they started doing pay-per-view.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can watch it from home.
Yep.
But again, as far as Peacock goes, what they did is they sold the library of WWE history, WWF. Yep. They sold all of that to Peacock. And why? Because they knew that their business model and their way of doing business wasn't going to help that thrive anymore, especially through the WWE app.
Yeah.
Which was very successful for a while. But the foresight of guys like Triple H, he's always looking down the road. And he knew.
Well, and you know, and the McMahon family is stepping aside to let Hunter.
He knew at some point the whole WWE TV thing wasn't going to continue to flourish because that's not what their business is.
Right. Right.
They're not in the broadcasting business.
Correct.
I mean, the app still maintained its existence for international viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they made a killing through Peacock when they sold the rights.
Yes.
Now that Peacock has established themselves as being the significant broadcasting partner
of
WWE, it's time to move on from that to streaming.
And Netflix is giving them the avenue to where they can do pretty much whatever the fuck they want to do.
Triple H said it the other day at the press conference. He's like, once we go live on Netflix, we will be covering over 80% of the population outside of the United States.
Yeah, and again, the Attitude Era can come back too.
And when you got guys like The Rock as the board of directors of TKO.
Oh, the king of the Attitude Era.
Just saying. You know, now you got Cena coming back during this period when Netflix is kicking off.
Yep.
How much better is that? I think it's perfect because Cena comes back.
You think he brings back Thugonomics?
No.
Okay.
He said it at the press conference. He said, that's not who I am.
It really isn't. You're right. It really
is. Ring, I like to be the person I am outside the ring. And being a heel was never in the cards for me. Ever.
He never really was a heel, though, was he?
No, he wasn't. Dr. Thugonomics was controversial.
Right.
Because he was going against one of the legends in Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
And he was stepping in during the tail end of the Attitude Era.
Yeah, I mean, he was in late 90s. You're right. Correct.
In other words, his character went against every grain that there was as far as the Attitude Era was. Because he was more about aggression than attitude.
Yes.
And that's why they renamed that era the Ruthless Aggression Era.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And but like I said, look, if anything, seen as a smart, but he's not a great actor, but he's made tons of money making movies.
Making bad movies.
And he's got some good ones. I really like Ricky Stenicki. If you haven't seen that,
I haven't seen that, no.
watch it, dude. It's freaking hilarious.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's one of his better performances. And but he's a businessman, and they're not going to have him tour for an entire year without the intention of giving him the opportunity to surpass Ric Flair, who, by the way, now doesn't deserve the reverence of not having his record broken because he defected to AEW.
Yeah, he did. You're right. You're right. Which is all the more reason why WWE wants Cena to.
They need to erase Flair from that top. They need to knock him off that top pedestal.
Yep.
In history, because through thick and thin, John Cena's always been there.
He always come back. He's just like The Rock. He comes back every so often and stays loyal to WWE. You're right.
Now, somebody asked him in the press conference, does this mean you're going to retire the jorts?
No, he's not going to retire the jorts.
Yes, he is.
Really?
He's going to retire the shorts, the T-shirts, everything. And he's going to step into a suit and work with the executive branch of WWE.
Well, after he retires is what you're saying, right?
Right, after next year, in 2026. He will become an extension of WWE through the executive model.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
which means when you see him, you'll see him in a suit and tie, carrying on like the guys that are in the brass, so to speak.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, he's earned it. Just the same way Rock earned being board of directors and TKO/WWE giving him the rights to anything that he ever used, name, anything.
Yep.
They all belong to him now.
Yeah, I agree.
He can do with those as he pleases. I mean, come on. He recreated himself even at this stage with that final boss character.
Yeah.
Okay. He made it so that he could be controversial like that because Rock's, if anything about The Rock, you always knew that there was going to be some kind of controversy.
Well, and you know what? Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, is always willing to take it to the next level, and having him as a person that's providing input to the direction of WWE can only make it go explode even more.
He gets that from his lineage.
Yep.
Because his grandfather, Chief Peter Maivia, was a groundbreaker.
Yep. So was his dad.
His grandmother. Okay.
Yep.
She was the one that basically kept Polynesian wrestling and Chief Peter Maivia's dream and goal alive. Okay. His father, first African-American champion.
Yep. Rocky Maivia.
Rocky Johnson.
Rocky Johnson, excuse me.
Yeah. Peter Maivia was the grandfather. Rocky Johnson was the dad. That's where he gets the Johnson name from. And even his mother, Etta, she was a big part.
She's still around, though. His mother is still around.
She sure is. And he takes care of her and loves her like no other.
Absolutely.
And look, he's done great things. He's Hollywood moments, and he's the bad ones.
Yeah, Elliot, we lost you, buddy. I don't know what's going on with your Wi-Fi, but we lost you. Hello, Elliot. Elliot. Hang in there, folks. Must be that Arizona internet. Who knows? But yeah, we lost Elliot. And give him a few minutes or a second to come back. Yep, see, he's gone. He's gone. We'll see if we can get him back. But yeah, I mean, I'm a as far as WWE, I'm a passive fan. I don't watch it as often as I used to. So it is what it is. I don't like doing this show by myself, but it is what it is. If I can't get back on, then we'll close it out. Couple other things I wanted to bring up while he's out. Today has been a bad week for losing stars. First, we lost Shelley Duvall earlier this week. Then we lose Richard Simmons. And then, of course, just today we lost, what's her name? Of course, I don't remember her name, right? Go figure. Good grief. Hang on a second. Hang on. I don't have anybody in there yet. Okay, good. Hang on. Shannon Doherty, thank you very much. Star of 90210. So along with losing Monty Kiffin and losing Jacoby Jones, we lose three beloved stars. Richard Simmons had a lot. I mean, if you guys don't remember, you're not old enough to understand, Richard Simmons was a Elliot said his internet went down. Hang on. He was very, very impactful regarding staying in health, being active, being healthy, and he had this huge personality. Never, you know what, and he was a positive person for most of his life. And you know what? There he is back. You had a big thunderstorm come in, huh, Elliot?
I got RKO'd.
You got RKO'd?
From out of nowhere.
I was just.
You hear that?
Yeah, I'll get the same amount going on in my place too. We got thunder and lightning going on crazy here too. So you never left Florida. It seems like you just got weather.
I just brought the shit with me.
You brought the shit with you, yes.
Although this is almost monsoon season here in Florida, in Arizona.
Yeah, you're not in Florida anymore. You're in Arizona.
Yeah. So, but at least I don't have to worry about bugs anymore. Oh yeah,
you don't have to worry about hurricanes out there, at least, Elliot.
No hurricanes.
No hurricanes.
No hurricanes. Maybe a few microbursts here and there, but no hurricanes.
And you got that. You got the heat to worry about too. So that's why God invented air conditioning. So
let me tell you what. As far everybody has this misconception that Arizona is hell when it comes to heat. I'm here to tell you Florida's worse.
Because of the humidity.
Because of the humidity and the heat index.
Yep.
Okay. When it's 95 degrees in Arizona, it feels like 95 degrees. When it's 95 degrees in Florida, it feels like 110.
I'm with you.
Every time I walk out my door to let the dogs out or whatever in the morning, boom! I felt like I was in Central Park getting mugged by humidity.
Well, you know what? I always make the comment that when it's really hot in the afternoon, and I walk out my front door to go to my car to go somewhere, by the time I get to my car, I'm drenched in sweat, and my car is only 20 feet from my front door.
Dude, I had to take 3 showers the other day while I was trying to get myself out of Florida.
I'm not surprised.
Because the setback I had with my son not showing up, as he was supposed to. I had to go into overdrive as far as getting stuff packed and situated, and I even had to leave hours earlier than I
Right.
even thought.
Right.
And I told you, I traveled with 2 dogs for 13 hours from Bradenton to New Orleans.
Did you have to stop and let the dogs take a pee?
Constantly. And this dog had to pee a few times too. So I can understand their predicament.
Yep. I was just commenting on the loss of Shelley Duvall, Richard Simmons, and Shannon Doherty. In the last 48 hours, we lost all 3. And for those that don't remember Richard Simmons, when the dude was like
the exercise guru.
I mean, the dude had more energy than anybody I ever met in my life.
He was the Jack LaLanne of the 80s.
That's exactly what Sheila just said. He was the Jack LaLanne of his day. Yes, exactly.
In his own quirky way.
Yes. You know what? And I posted, I don't know if it was Facebook or Twitter, but I posted a video of him when he went on Whose Line Is It Anyway? And it was just outrageously hilarious. And I've lost Elliot again. I lost you, Elliot. You're gone. But yeah, I mean, Richard Simmons was in a level of his own in the 80s and the early 90s, and he was just a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to engage, and it was just a blast. He got another hit. That's why he's gone. He got another lightning hit. Well, he's going to have to do something about that because, if he keeps getting that kind of bad weather out in Arizona and your internet gets taken out, you got to figure out what the hell's going on. And Shannon Doherty, I never watched 90210. I was really never into it because it wasn't my kind of show. But I know it was popular with most people in the 90s when it was on TV. But I know she was very popular. That's all I can say. I know she was very popular. And, Elliot needs to fix his new internet is what he needs to do. I'm just saying. I hate doing this show by myself. And of course, hang on. I gotta go back to where I was going here. Come on. And of course, Dr. Ruth Westheimer. Dr. Ruth changed the way America looked at sex. She was the guru of sex talk in the 80s and the 90s. She had her own show. She was a frequent guest on talk shows. And I mean, we lost a lot of people the last 48 hours and even this week. So, it is what it is. If Elliot, let's see. Yeah, that's all. Elliot's going to call it for the night, and I'm going to call the show for the night because he's having issues out there in Arizona. I'm actually in danger of getting hit myself. So we're going to call it a night. There wasn't much going on, but I appreciate those that showed up. And we're going to be out of here, and we'll be back hopefully again on Tuesday, depending on what's going on with Elliot and what's going on with the rest of them. I expect the full crew to be back probably the end of this month or the beginning of August. Wayne will come back, and we can start talking NFL football at that time. So we'll be back hopefully Tuesday. If not, we'll try Thursday. Be patient. We'll be back. We'll have stuff to talk about. Have a good night.